All right, hello, metal maniacs. It's the Meista from Brews and Tunes. Cheers. Absolutely thrilled today. I am chatting with the indelible, the one and only Mr. Don Crotsley, aka Dawn of the Dead, of course, from the infernal and the mighty Nunslaughter. How's it going, Don? Great to see you.
It's going really well. Yeah, good to talk to you, man. Thank you so much for having this call with me or this meeting.
Yeah. Super excited to chat with you. As we were chatting before we started recording, I saw saw Nunslaughter play in Salt Lake a couple weeks ago, and you guys just blew me away. I've never seen Nunslaughter live, so that was, I was super excited to see you live. But then you guys, just destroyed. It's such an intense show. Maybe
Oh,
probably one of the most intense shows I've ever seen. I was just enthralled. It was incredible. Yeah,
great. Thank you so much.
and you guys were touring with Possessed, and unfortunately the tour got cut short, a couple days short, I guess, a couple of shows short. I think Seattle and Portland. But so you just finished up, I think, what, last week or the week? I think it was last.
Yeah, just when I get home, I got home just a day and a half ago.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
finished.
because we had to drive from basically San Francisco to Cleveland, Ohio.
Ooh, that's a long
So
drive.
this is about 36 hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no fun. But apart from the last two shows getting canceled, dude, I think it was Possessed bus broke down, right? In San Francisco.
Yeah, it was something to do with their I think the braking or the air brake system in the bus. And the funny thing about that show was they broke down less than a mile away from the venue,
Oh wow.
and the tour manager called me and said, "Hey, can you bring your van around and we'll load up the van?" So when we got to the venue, we emptied it, and then I went back and I made four different trips in my van, and we loaded up all the equipment to bring it up to the venue. And then they kind of got the van running, and they kind of got the bus running. They got it up to the venue, and it broke down again.
Oh geez.
So that was the end of it.
Yeah, that's too bad. Luckily, it wasn't at the beginning of the tour, so that's good.
Yeah.
How was the tour, by the way? How did it go? Apart from, missing those last two shows.
It was a great tour. Actually, we hit it off with all the guys. Nunslaughter has toured in the past with the Black Mariah, so they're kind of old friends of ours. But most of the guys in Possessed, I never really officially got to meet before. I met Jeff in the past quite a few times, but the rest of the guys I didn't get a chance to meet, and so got to know them a little bit on the tour. We had a blast. I wish we would have had more time at the beginning and end of the days to hang out, just shoot the shit. But it's music. You see, basically, we play, we pack up, we'd have to drive to the next city because it's 6 or 7 or 8 hours away. So, yeah, but yeah, great show. Boy, the crowds were fantastic. You know, we're not used to playing some of the larger clubs, like when we played in Tijuana and San Diego and San Francisco. Those were pretty large clubs.
Nice.
And yeah, so it's great to play in front of 6, 7, 800 people a night.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're really fortunate we got on that tour.
Nice. Yeah. That was yeah, definitely a highlight for me for the year. Was that tour was incredible. Yeah, a great way to, finish out the year with some kick-ass metal, and some of my favorite bands. So that was great. And I'd never heard or seen the Black Mariah before, and I really enjoyed their set a lot too. I bought their new album, and yeah, they were great guys, super nice, super friendly, down to earth, like all of you are, which is great. I think that's always nice too, when you meet your metal heroes, and just like you, just down to earth,
Just
cool
just
people.
regular people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, down to because I think everybody's had that. If you met some of your heroes and they turn out to be complete assholes, and it's like, oh, bummer. You know.
Yeah, a lot of the times it's kind of one of my rules of thumb. I try not to meet them. I mean, if I'm obviously if I'm in the same room, but I don't go out of my way to try to meet some of the people that I like the music because sometimes it ruins the music.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just I'd rather keep them on a pedestal and my idea of them is better than the person that is themselves. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, I mean, you guys are a complete opposite. I mean, you guys man your own merch tables, you chat with everybody, you hang out, have beers with everybody. I mean, yeah, it's great. It makes such a nice experience to be able to have a real conversation with a band you like and the musicians that you like, and kind of get to know them a little bit more. And yeah, it's great. It was great.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had a blast. That was a great show. Yeah, and I picked up one of the splits that you guys did, the one you did with Blood. Yeah, great album. Yeah, really cool. Yeah, I think Mike sold that to me. And yeah, we chatted a bit about, and he even, because I was debating on a couple and he's like, oh, you should get this one. I'm like, all right, cool. So yeah, really nice guy. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, speaking of albums, so the last Nunslaughter album, I've got a copy right here. The came out in 2021, I think, right? So just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You guys have and man, what a great album. What a,
Thank you.
yeah, just it rips. It just rips. Yeah, I love it. The title track, red is the color of ripping death. Just a killer song, and just everything on there is just fantastic. I was fortunate enough to get the picture disc version too, so yeah, very cool stuff. But it's amazing too to think that Nunslaughter's been around since '87. You formed the band in '87, and this is the fifth full-length album. I mean, you produced a lot of music over the years, a lot of splits, a lot of EPs, a lot of live things, but it's almost insane to think that, yeah, a band with that much, staying power and been around so long, and you're only on your fifth full-length album. That's pretty wild. But I think it shows just how important of a band you guys really are, and how impactful your music is. That you don't have to be pumping out albums all the time, like some bands kind of do to stay relevant. I think Nunslaughter is definitely, one of those bands that, for me anyway, has so much staying power. And just, I mean, even like just one track is just so much intensity. And I mean, you guys really were on the forefront of the extreme metal of the, in the '80s. I mean, that's, there wasn't a lot of that back then. So
long time ago.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, it's incredible to think that it's been that long too. '87. I can't believe that. It seems like it was yesterday. So that that first demo came out, the Ritual of Darkness. It's like that was '87. Like, holy shit. I'm old. I forgot. But yeah. So, that wasn't really a question. I just congratulations on such a long killer career.
Well, thank you. Yeah, even back decades ago, my goal and kind of how I worked it into the band was that I wasn't that concerned about putting out albums. I wanted to record music. So sometimes when you're working with band members, they can't dedicate enough time to where you can write and record an album. So Jim and I, the drummer who passed away, we kind of just decided, well, if we can get 2 or 4 or 6 songs out of a group or a guitar player or a bass player, whatever, that'll be fine. And then we'll just record it. Some of the records were planned to be an album, but then the person either had to leave or was asked to leave or didn't want to jam with us anymore. So we're like, well, let's record these 3 songs. And then they're sitting there and somebody says, hey, let's do a split 7-inch. And we go ahead and put out a 7-inch. So, yeah, I mean, you know, you mentioned 5 albums, but I can honestly say this: there's bands out there that have been around almost as long as us with twice as many albums and half as many songs. Nunslaughter has a catalog of almost 300 songs that we recorded in our career, and that dwarfs most bands' catalog, usually by 100+ songs. So yeah, and now we've got another. Well, we got 8 songs that are finished that we've demoed, and then we just got to write another 4, and hopefully middle of next year we'll be recording another album. And it depends on. It'll probably be out probably the end of 2024 or beginning of 2025, because that's just how long it takes. But
yeah, nice. Oh, that's great. That's great news. That's exciting. That's really cool. Yeah, I would imagine, you know, with a catalog as large as that, is it tricky, like when you're like, for this, you know, instance, this last tour you did, you know, kind of whittling down the songs, figuring out what that set's going to be. I would imagine that it can be a little tricky when you've got that much music, and, you know, there's obviously fan favorites and things you probably want to play, and probably you know, songs that are your favorites. And obviously, you know, you want to play newer stuff from the newest album, but yeah, I would imagine that's kind of tricky, like figuring out like what's this set going to be, you know, with that much history.
On this tour, we took a little different approach. Normally, for shows and tours, we would write new and different set lists for every show, so it would be handwritten. And we as a band, we know about 60 songs that we can relatively competently play live, and that catalog of songs, it keeps growing. But then you lose a member, or something happens and you don't practice for a while, so you lose a few songs here and there. Yeah, we normally know about 60 songs, and we do about 24 songs in a set, in a 45-50-minute set. So the set, or the song list, can be different from show to show. But on this one, we actually stuck to I think 21 songs that were always on the set, and then we changed up 3 or 4 of them, depending on if somebody requested one before we got up on stage, or something like that. So we kind of customize it to every show. Cool. And so this one was a little actually more organized than it normally is.
Nice. That's really cool. Yeah, because, you know, it seems like, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like most bands have a pretty stringent set list. You know, usually it seems like, you know, they've got it down, like, this is what we're playing, this is what we rehearsed. But I love the fact that you can mix it up a little bit, and take requests, and that's really cool. That's awesome. That makes me, you know, kind of wish that I had traveled a little bit and gone to other shows so I could have seen different play sets. You know, like, oh, that would have been cool to see a different. I was really tempted, actually, to. I think you guys played Boise, right? Did you play Boise?
No, we played Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay, yeah, I guess, yeah. I was tempted to drive. I mean, it was a bit of a drive, it'd be like an 8-hour drive to Denver or somewhere, but yeah, I was tempted to drive and see you guys, you know, get a couple shows in, but just work-wise, I couldn't do it. So, but yeah, that was incredible. I was curious, you know, with all the songs, and maybe this has changed over the years. I mean, yeah, like, you know, you've got a 40-year career doing this with Nunslaughter. What is the writing process like? Do you start the process? Does it start with a riff? Does it start with a lyric? Like, what's the writing process for you guys?
Well, it's changed and evolved over the years. In the earlier years, including the demos, It was kind of between the guitar player and myself. I was playing bass at the time, and we wrote music. And then I guess probably sometime in the early 90s, I started writing all the music for Nunslaughter. So that was like Guts of Christ, Impale the Soul of Christ on the Inverted Cross of Death, Face of Evil. And then on Face of Evil, which was 95, is when Jim Kanye joined the band. And Jim had a very similar writing style, or rather he catered it to what how he wanted Nunslaughter to sound. So sometime around like 96, 97, Jim wrote probably 90% of the music. Oh. And he would write the music, and then I would write the lyrics to it. And then after his passing, this lineup here has been kind of we sit around, we play. Somebody starts off with humming a riff, or somebody comes up with an idea like, oh, I want a D-beat song here, I want a vocal driven song, I got these lyrics. And then we kind of all put our 2 cents and come up with the music. Oh. So in the case of like Red is the Color of Ripping Death, the song, the title was written by Jim probably 15, 20 years before he died. It was a title that I remembered, but we never used. And then there's two riffs in that song that came from a rehearsal tape that Jim and I made probably 10, 12 years ago. And then the rest of it was finished off by our guitar player, Noah. And same with the arrangement as well. He arranged the song. So it came from different pieces and parts. And I think Noah I'm going to say he wrote almost all of the lyrics to that, or he wrote a couple of paragraphs and then I finished the rest of the song. So it was kind of neat. It was kind of from Jim and Noah, myself, and even the drummer, Joe. We all kind of put our heads together and came up with that song.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I love that collaboration, and it's very organic. And yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, what a great tribute to Jim as well. To use not just the title, but material from those demos. That's pretty cool. That's a nice nice kind of memorial to him. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
right on. Wow, that's amazing. That's great. I love that. That's such a cool story. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, I feel like, wow, that's so cool. Yeah, I love the fact that, and I've always found, and maybe this is wrong, but it seems that, and I'm not a musician, but I've always found a lot of stuff that I really love music wise. It always, from a band, it always seems like it's better if it's a collaborative, everybody has input to some degree, rather than, just one person, kind of taking control of the whole thing. And, and there's still great stuff that comes out of, that, but I don't know. I think it just seems like it's better if it's a collaborative, event in a lot of
sometimes it can be. I mean, I got to give props to some of the bands that there's one person behind them. Talk to Holocaust would be one. Midnight would be another. Mm-hmm. Those are all bands that are music that's written by one person, and I think those are really great bands. So, but yeah, for the most part, it helps be able to bounce ideas off of other people.
Yeah, nice. So the band, the current lineup of the band is fairly new. I think Noah's probably been in the longest, about 10 years now.
Yeah,
2014. So But yeah, it just seems like you guys just have it's especially on the on live, you guys are just so tight. And it even though it's really intense, there's a lot of intensity to the show. It looks like you guys are just having a blast. I mean, it looks like you guys really feed off of each other and really enjoy the company of one another on stage. And yeah, and that's something I think is just really fun as an audience member. It's just for me, it's such a joy to watch a band that's one kicking ass, but also just having a good time doing it, and really enjoying it. And it's amazing to think too, when I saw you guys, I think Noah was sick, and you wouldn't know
He was
it.
that was the sickest he was on the tour. Yeah, he was very sick.
Yeah, and you would have no idea up on stage. I mean, he just killed. He killed. But when I talked to him after the show, I could tell he was a little groggy and kind of
Little
worn down.
drained.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he looked a little pale, but he was very friendly and yeah, really cool guy, really fun to talk to. So I'm friends with Matt Sorg, and he told me, he's like, you got to go say hi to Noah for me. I'm like, okay, I'll talk to Noah. So yeah, that was great. Well, that's exciting news though that you've got an album in the works. Do you guys have any more shows coming up, tour plans for 2024?
We have one more show this year, December 29th in Detroit. And then February, I think it's February 13th. We start our tour with Profanatica on the East Coast.
Nice.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. Paul Ledney and I have talked about touring and collaborating quite a few times over many, many years. And it just wasn't working out for us. Profanatica really wasn't touring, like an actual full-time touring band up until just, I think, last year, the year before. He kind of just said, he's going to go ahead and do it. So, and that's kind of what happened to me. I just says, well, if not now, probably never. So luckily we're getting to hook up, and hopefully out of this, we'll do a split record as well. We had talked about doing a split record for the better part of 15, 16 years. So, I don't know if it'll be a live one. I'd like it to be in the studio, but we'll see.
Nice. Oh, that's exciting. That's really cool news. Yeah. The Detroit show is who are you playing with there?
I think we're the only band. It is a kind of a Christmas, New Year's satanic mass. It's at a church, and they actually have, it's like bondage and BDSM is going on, and people getting strapped to crosses, getting whipped and flogged, and all kinds of seances and shit going on. So I'm not quite sure what to expect, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
that sounds entertaining. That sounds like at least just visually that could be a pretty fun show.
Yeah, they've had I think it was last year, Goat Whore did the show. Okay. And they did pictures of them, like, on the altar, being Goat Whore guys. And so I think it's going to be a pretty cool matchup to have us there this year. Nice. And I think from what I heard, I don't know if it's online. I think it might have sold out already. Oh, wow. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine it would. Yeah, that sounds really fun. That sounds cool. I was also curious about kind of change direction a little bit. Are you still doing stuff with Tondra? Is that still going on?
Yeah, actually, I just talked to the guitar player last night. He gave me a call. We have he wrote all the songs. The drum tracks are recorded. He is now working on laying down the actual guitar tracks and bass tracks. Then I'm hoping by early next year he'll finish those, send them to me, and I'll start writing lyrics and go into the studio and finish that off. But that's been on the back burner for almost 20 years. The guy I met him when I lived in Hawaii, and we became friends out there. And he says, "Oh, we should do a recording, collaboration," and that's what became of Tondra. And then I moved shortly after the record got recorded, and over the years we kept talking, we should do another one, and it's finally come to fruition. So I think I'm pretty sure it's going to happen.
Nice. Oh, that's exciting. Very cool. Right on. I love that. And I was and I know you've got several bands, or you've been in several bands. I don't know if they're still all active or not. But yeah, it just seems like you're always working. You're always busy. You always got stuff going on, which is cool.
I try to be. The other band that I'm working on is a band called from Arizona called Nighnacht, and we've recorded 3 demos or album, whatever you want to call it. And just when we were out in Scottsdale on this tour, I got to see the other 3 guys in the band. We haven't been together in 6-7 years, all in the same room. And so we got to hang out and shoot the shit. And we talked about the next Nighnacht recording. And the guitar player says he's got riffs. So they're going to, I'm hoping, the beginning of this year, start recording some stuff and send it to me, and I'll do the vocals here in Cleveland, and maybe having a 4th Nighnacht demo or album, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, nice, very cool. Yeah, that's great news. Wow, yeah, sounds like you're gonna have a pretty busy 2024. So
that's the plan.
Yeah, that's good news.
Then I don't think I have anything other bands going on at this time. Now, I don't think Tondra will ever perform live, and probably not Nighnacht either. But you never know.
Yeah.
If Nunslaughter doesn't pan out for me here, maybe I'll do Nighnacht full time.
Well, hopefully that's not the case. I mean, it would be cool to get more Nighnacht material, but yeah, hopefully, I don't. Hopefully, Nunslaughter's not going away anytime soon. I would be devastated. So, and you played with, and this probably goes back a ways, but I know you did some live stuff with Derketa, right? With Sharon's band, Derketa.
Yeah. Well, Sharon and I were friends in high school. That's how far back we go. But it was sometime in, I think it was maybe 91. She asked me to see if I could play bass. She came over to my house. I fiddled around a little bit, and I think we both decided that I am not a good bass player, and so I never played in Derketa officially. I also tried out for Ex Mortis from Baltimore, Maryland, Immortality's End demo, and I failed that one too. Yeah, so I'm not a good musician at all.
Oh, great vocalist. So that's
well, thank you.
Yeah. So, and you also do production. You produced some Nunslaughter albums, and you do a lot of the layout too, I think, with the artwork, right? Or at least the design, come up with.
I probably did maybe 75% of the Nunslaughter layouts and design for everything from cassettes, CDs, LPs, T-shirts, patches, stickers, buttons, hats. That's pretty much all my designs. And then I didn't make the art, but I put it on the article, I also decided that I don't have a very good ear, so I stopped trying to mix things. I left that up to the professionals. So but some of the earlier 7-inches that Jim and I were both on. I think Jim thought and I thought that we were both capable of recording and mixing, and we weren't. Like going back, those are some rough sounding 7-inches, and you know, it was a learning experience. But now I've learned that it's best to pay someone to do that.
Yeah. Well, and Noah does a lot of that, you know, right? I think
Noah has his own studio, Mercenary Studios. Yeah, it's a full-fledged studio. That's what he does as a professional. But he records, mixes and masters for many bands. A lot of them here in Ohio, but he works like he's recorded, mixed, and mastered most of the Midnight albums. He works with Ringworm and Shed the Skin, and the whole litany of bands from the Cleveland area, but all around the United States as well. Yeah, it's a fantastic studio. Yeah. And I'm fortunate enough that's where I practice. So a lot of our demos and jam sessions sound better than other people's records.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he has a great ear for I mean, everything I've heard of his that he's done. You know, you mentioned several, Ringworm and Shed the Skin. I think those albums just sound so richly textured and powerful. You know, especially that new Ringworm is really intense. Yeah, that's really powerful. Yeah, really well balanced. I think he does a great job. That's cool. Kind of switch gears a little bit here. Maybe take a ride in the Wayback Machine. I was curious about your start in music. Did you come from a musical family? Like, how did you get into this craziness?
No musical family. My sister didn't play any instruments, and neither did my mother. Boy, I don't know how I got into it. I mean, the band that I heard, the first band that I heard that got me into rock and roll, that I thought was like, it was my band, you know, because there was, you know, Van Halen, Rush, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, and you know, that was whatever. It was just, you know, music, but it wasn't like for me. And then I heard Kiss, and Kiss kind of got me into, like, that was kind of like my rock and roll type of music. And then just a few years later, probably 6-7 years later, you know, so when I started listening to Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath and Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, you know, all the gateway bands, and started. I seem to remember going in Pittsburgh. There's a record store called Ides Records, and seeing if I was there buying some albums or whatnot. And there's a flyer for a show, and then I started going to shows, and I started to meet people in the music scene in Pittsburgh, and I thought that looked like a lot of fun. So me and two other guys decided to start Pittsburgh's first death metal band.
Nice.
Because at the time, like, everybody kind of frowned on death metal. It was pretty primitive, and, you know, usually poorly or roughly recorded, and that was something that attracted me and the other two guys to the music, and that's what repelled a lot of the actual musicians in the scene. We're like, that sounds like crap. We're like, oh, we really like it. So we decided, let's do a death metal band.
Nice. Cool. Did you have kind of a vision of what you wanted the sound to be, and the you know, the imagery, and the, you know, as far as kind of, you know, the satanic, you know, vibe, and, you know, the kind of that intensity? Did you already have that kind of vision of what that you wanted that to be at that time as a kid?
Definitely image and lyrical content was to be about death and Satan. That's what attracted me to the music to begin with. I like the stories, the horror stories, and musically, I'd have to say it was we were limited in our musical ability to not only play but to write anything much more difficult than what it became. And so like as I said, we got like about 300 songs. Well, none of our songs has ever had a guitar solo in it. Right. We've done cover songs with solos in it, but none of our original songs has ever had a guitar solo. And that stemmed back from a lot of their early punk bands never put guitar solos in, and we couldn't play a guitar solo. So we just decided, well, not going to. And then after so many years, it just seemed like, well, let's just not put any guitar solos in. And in fact, one of my favorite reviews of Red is the Color Ripping Death, I don't remember who was reviewing it, but when he was given a synopsis of it, he says, you know, it just occurred to me, I don't think there's any guitar solos on this record. And he's like, you know what? You don't really miss it. Yeah. You know, he couldn't, he's like, I don't think there's any guitar solos, you know? So.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I'm really realizing that too, that, yeah, UDKs don't have any guitar solos. And yeah, it's kind of refreshing because, you know, sometimes it just, you know, a lot, especially there's so many over noodling, you know, it's just like, all right, let's get on with the song, you know. And I love riffs. I love a cool riff. So, you know, yeah, I don't, you know, guitar solos can be cool, you know, as long as it lends itself to the music. But I think sometimes it, you know, especially with I think in like power metal and thrash metal, sometimes it just gets really showy, and it's like, all right, come on.
It's very showy. Yeah. I'm more of if I'm going to listen to a guitar solo, I want to hear like Jeff Hanneman and Kerry King, because they're really fucking short solos, you know. Yeah. But they trade off, and for me that's where like a death metal band should be with their guitar solos, short and sweet, you know. And we've taken criticism that people are upset that, you know, oh, you know, you can't write a song over 3 minutes long or something like that. And you know, if we threw 16 extra measures in there with 2 or 3 guitar solos, yeah, we'd have a 4-minute song just like every other metal band. But yeah, you know, it's basically punk rock with lyrics about Satan and the dead, and you know, with a down tune a little bit, aggressive vocals, but it's a dirty punk rock band.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's one thing I've always loved it. Yeah, I like the short songs. I like the fast, the punch, you know, and I think that adds to the intensity of your sound. And yeah, it's like, yeah, I think it would be strange if you had like a 7-minute song with some crazy guitar solo in it. It wouldn't be Nunslaughter. It would, yeah, be somebody else. It'd be somebody else. Are there yeah, kind of both and this might be kind of a loaded question, but in terms of your writing and your performance and your vocals, are there specific musicians that kind of influenced you more so than others?
Well, I mean, as far as my vocal style goes, me personally, Jeff Becerra was one of my big influences. So it was really nice to get to do a tour with him. But I'm somewhere between like a Kronos and a Becerra. Aggressive vocals, but you can understand what they're saying, as opposed to you know, more guttural vocals like in the brutal death metal scene. A lot of that stuff you don't know what they're saying, and you have to read the lyrics, and that's just not. I don't have that kind of range to do something like that. But it wasn't something that I was interested in. I wanted to hear somebody say Satan and Lucifer and hell you know, that kind of stuff. I didn't want to have to decipher it by looking at the lyrics. You know, I want it right there.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I love, you know, there are several brutal death metal bands I really like a lot, and they're fun to listen to. But yeah, I want to hear. I like to hear the vocals. I like to hear the enunciation. And yeah, like actually, what is the song? Yeah, what is he saying? What's, you know, I prefer that as well. I'm the same. So yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, that's another thing I love about. Yeah, like when I saw you guys live, I mean, there were a lot of people like singing along, and
Yeah,
you know, because they know what you're saying. And yeah,
yeah, that's a big that's a big treat for me as well. Being that I wrote a lot of the words, and to have somebody singing them back at me, I was like, man, they actually listen to this record. You know, this is good. You know, yeah, a very proud moment when I see that.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and yeah, I guess I have so many great songs too, and so many great lyrics, um, and yeah, I love I love the imagery. Yeah, of your lyrics. I've always loved that kind of horror, satanic, you know, death and destruction. Yeah, a lot of really cool stuff, and sometimes kind of tongue in cheek, and you know, there's some somewhat funny lyrics too. I think, you know, to some degree, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Some
know,
of it's tongue in cheek, yeah, without a doubt.
yeah, but it lends itself so well to the style, I think, and it's yeah, I mean, and yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say with this, but yeah, it's like there's a couple songs on Hex that yeah, I mean, I don't think it's, yeah, they're kind of funny, they're kind of tongue in cheek, but it, you know, it's, you know, I think it's what you actually think about these certain, you know, subjects and matters, but also you know, like, hey, I can do this in kind of a funny way, you know, like you know, like the you know, watching the churches burn, you know, that kind of, yeah,
Yes,
fun.
smell
Yeah.
the burning churches.
Yeah,
And
smell the burning churches. Yeah, you're not going to go out and burn down churches, but I mean, yeah, it's like, yeah, right on. Let's burn these churches down.
There's a vomit in the goblet of Jesus Christ. Christians have ruined my way of life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that. When you guys did here in Utah, when you did "I Hate Christians," that Noah introduced the song and said, you know, in, you know, deep voice, and you know, like, you know, here we are, Nunslaughter, in the land of the Mormons, in the land of Zion. I hate Christians, and then just went right into it. Yeah, very punk rock, and they're like, oh, that was fucking awesome. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, that was great. Well, Don, this has been so fun chat. Oh, I just remembered, I did want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that King Fowley of Deceased gave you the nickname Dawn of the Dead. Is that true? Is that?
Yeah.
Nice.
So the story, and actually I asked King about it, and he remembers it differently, but this is my version. So Pittsburgh and DC are only about 7 hours apart. And the first show that Deceased ever played outside of the state was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And so they came up to Pittsburgh, and I took them to Monroeville Mall, which is just outside of Pittsburgh. And that's where the movie Dawn of the Dead was filmed.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, it's completely, it's changed a lot, but like there's no ice skating rink or anything like that, but it's still Monroeville Mall. And so when King and I started trading, tape trading and record trading and t-shirt trading, we would always put like different names on the package. You know, it'd be like, maybe I'd put like King Destroyer, you know, and he'd write back, you know, Dawn of Decay or something, you know. And so eventually at one point he wrote Dawn of the Dead, and I thought that was pretty good. That technically wasn't my I didn't really have a stage name at that time. And so on the very next release, and I think that would have been the 1991 Impale the Soul release,
Okay.
I put Dawn of the Dead as my performing name or whatever, and then it just kind of stuck.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh is land of the zombies, man. It's that's where it all came from.
Yeah, that's
And,
right. That's right. Yeah, that's
yeah.
cool. That's a cool story. I love that. Yeah, I was wondering where the name came from. And I mean, again, it works so perfectly with your name anyway, but yeah, that's cool that, yeah, when I read that King had come up with the name, I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. That's really cool. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that kind of lore, that metal lore. That's always fun. That's always fun.
Yeah, Kingy and I go way back.
Yeah, yeah, great band. Oh, they're I saw them a couple of years ago at the Carolina Chainsaw Festival. Chainsaw. Yeah, what's it called?
Carolina
Massacre.
Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, John and Yo-Yo's thing. Yeah. I've got a poster right back there of it. Yeah, I got to see Deceased. I'd never seen Deceased live before, so that was really cool to see them live, and they just kicked ass.
Yeah.
What a great live band. But anyway, yeah. So Don, thank you so very much for doing this. It's an absolute pleasure and an honor chatting with you today. For those of you watching, if you read in the description below, I've got links to Nunslaughter. If you've never heard Nunslaughter, go check them out. If you like extreme metal, you will love Nunslaughter. What a great band. And definitely pick up their most recent album, as well as they've got a plethora of splits they've done over the last couple of years, which a lot of cool stuff, really good. Yeah, a lot of great bands that they played with, a lot of cool songs. And if you can catch them live, especially if you're on the East Coast, 2024, definitely get to a show. You will not be sorry. Like I said, it's, I think, one of the most intense shows I've ever witnessed. I was just
Awesome.
thrilled. Yeah, just fantastic. So again, thank you so much, Don.
Thank you.